Welcome back to C2 Novel and Vocab Week 22, and this video is for our novel, The One and Only Ivan. In this video, we will be discussing difficult phrases from our novel, and this is to help with your cultural fluency. By becoming familiarized with different slang and colloquialisms, students will be able to relate to the novel and incorporate these phrases to convey their ideas more precisely. What does that mean? It means that we're going to go over some phrases in here that may have been difficult to understand and a bit confusing, but I'll be here to help you understand it so that you can not only understand the story better, but also maybe use it in your speaking. In this video, we'll be going over The One and Only Ivan, and we'll go over chapters Bad Guys until Free Ruby. So if you don't already, please go ahead and get your book and turn with me to our first quote. Let's go to page 182. 182. And I will start from the very top, okay? Most of the day I doze. Late in the afternoon, Mac approaches. Bob slips under knot tag. He prefers to keep a low profile around Mac. What does it mean here? To keep a low profile. To keep a low profile means to stay unnoticed or avoid drawing attention to oneself. Bob doesn't want Mac to notice him because he knows that Mac might not treat him kindly or care for him. Remember, Bob is just a stray dog. He isn't owned by the mall. This phrase comes from the idea of physically keeping your profile, meaning your body, really low to the ground so that you aren't seen. For example, if you're trying to avoid getting into trouble at school, you might keep a low profile by staying quiet and not making any loud noises. So say that you have a teacher and they ask a question. What is 100 plus 100? And you don't know the answer. So you kind of sleep low into your chair, kind of try to hide, try to not say anything during class so that the teacher doesn't notice you. So that means to keep a low profile. And as you can see in all the pictures here, all of them are a bit low to the ground, and that's not on purpose. It is on purpose because they're trying to keep a low profile. So next time, if you're trying to hide from someone or stay unnoticed, try to keep a low profile. Now let's go to 183. It's just the next page, and I'm going to start from the second stanza where it says "not bad." Okay. Not bad. Where do you get the paint anyway? George's kid? He considers. I'll bet I can get 30 for this picture. Maybe even 40. Mac turns on my TV. It's a Western. There's a human with a big hat and a small gun. He has a shiny star pinned to his chest. That means he is the sheriff and he will be getting rid of all the bad guys, which is the title of this chapter, Bad Guys. So what does it mean it is a Western? So in this paragraph already, Ivan had already explained it to us. But I wanted to make sure. Does this mean Western like go to the West Coast? What's the West Coast of Korea? Is that Incheon then? The West area. So let's see. What does it mean when they say a Western? A Western is a type of movie or TV show that takes place in the American West, like California, often in the late 1800s. They usually feature cowboys, horses, and ranches, as you can see in my pictures down below. It's called a Western because these stories are set in the western part of the United States during the time of pioneers and settling to the new lands. For example, there are classic Western movies like The Good, The Bad, and the Ugly, and there's some other ones, but I've never actually watched a Western movie. I've always seen like cartoons pretending to be like a Western movie, like Tom and Jerry. They would always pretend to be cowboys and, and have some type of violence like that. But I've never actually watched one. But if you have, go ahead and share with me in one of your missions. Then maybe I will go watch one too. Western. So it doesn't mean just the west side of America or the west side of Korea. We're talking about a movie that was shot on the western side with cowboys, sheriffs, and ranches. Now, let's go to page 185. A lot of these are close to the beginning of our homework pages. Let's start from 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth stanza where it says, I don't understand ads. Are you ready? It says, I don't understand ads. They're not like westerns where you know who the bad guy is supposed to be. And they're hardly ever romantic, unless the man and the woman are brushing their teeth before they face lick. I watch an ad for underarm deodorant. How do you know who's who if they don't smell? I asked Bob. Humans reek, Bob replies. They just don't notice because they have incompetent noses. So here, in our past video for the vocabulary, we already talked about underarm deodorant, but here it says humans reek. What does that word reek mean? If you already looked it up, then you will know. But here, to reek means to have a very strong, unpleasant smell. In this case, Bob is saying that humans smell bad and they don't even realize it because their noses don't work very well. The word reek means to smell strongly or to wander. And it's been used in English for hundreds of years to describe something with a usually strong and bad odor. So when we're describing something that reeks, you want to just say, oh, this pizza reeks. No, because even though a pizza will smell very good and delicious, but reek is often with a negative connotation where we're saying it smells bad. And reek is on another level. So there's something that smells, there's something that smells bad, and then there's something that just reeks. It means super, super bad smell. So here, Bob, being the dog, has a much stronger nose of smell and a sense of smell than humans. So he notices the bad smell that they have, and humans don't because their sense of smell is a bit weaker. So when can we use this? We can say, oh, the garbage can reeked of rotten food. Or we can say, ooh, I hate taking out food trash because it reeks out there. So make sure you can try to use this word instead of just saying smells bad sometimes. Now let's go to page 189. 189, and we're going to start from the very beginning of the chapter where it says not tag. I pull out not tag's stuffing. Carefully, I fill her with my paintings, hiding them so Mac won't sell them. She's large, bigger than Bob, but I still have to crumple a few of them. Bob tries to settle on her for a nap. You've killed her, he complains. I had to, I say. So, if you don't understand this, you may be like, what? When did Ivan kill somebody? No. If you don't remember, who is not tag? First, yes, not tag is the stuffed animal that they have, and not tag tag is the name of Ivan's sibling, but they're saying not tag. So it's kind of like tag, but not tag, really. Anyhow, what does this mean here? I pull out not tag's stuffing. Stuffing here refers to the soft material inside a stuffed animal or doll that makes it full and squishy and soft and fluffy. It could be cotton, foam, or any other soft type of substance. So as you can see here in my picture, this bear is missing an arm, and you can see a little bit of cotton coming out. And I showed the cotton bag. And then the last picture, that doll is ripped up a lot. So the stuffing from that one is oozing out. So here, Ivan is carefully taking out the material inside Nautag, the stuffed animal, and replacing it with his paintings so that Mac cannot find them, and so that he cannot sell them. So remember here, Bob would always kind of use Not Tag to lay down as a pillow and stuff. And he was like, oh, you killed Not Tag. So you can say, oh, the stuffing in my pillow isn't as plushy anymore, so I need to buy a new one. Or you can say, oh, the arm broke from my doll, so the stuffing keeps coming out. And make sure you gotta put it back in and, sew back that arm. Stuffing. Let's go to page 200. Now, I will just start from the very beginning, okay? Nervous. All day long, I knuckle walk circles around my cage. I'm so nervous, I can't nap. I can't even eat. Well, not very much anyway. I'm ready to show Julia what I've made. It has to be Julia. She's an artist. Surely she'll truly look at my painting. She won't notice the smudges and tears. She won't care if the pieces don't quite fit together. She'll see past all of that. Surely Julia will see what I've imagined. So what does it mean here when it says, see past all of that? It means not to focus on the small mistakes or imperfections. It means to look beyond the flaws and focus on the bigger picture. So here, Ivan believes that here, Julia will not look at all the little mistakes that he has on his picture, but instead will look at his artwork as a whole and focus on the whole picture and not on the small little mistakes. So when can we use this phrase? If you make a mistake while presenting in front of your class, your teacher might say, don't worry about it. We can see past all of that. So I'm not saying, oh, can you see past all the mountains? Can you see what's beyond the mountains? That's not what I'm saying here. But instead, similarly, to see past something means to not care about the little things and look at the whole picture. Okay, so just like from my example, instead of caring and focusing on the little mistakes that we make, we can see past all of it and see the whole bigger picture. So now let's go to our next one, page 209. Page 209. I'll start from the very top. It says puzzle pieces. After a long while, I grow quiet. I sit. It's hard work being angry. Julia looks at me with wide, disbelieving eyes. I'm panting. I'm a little out of shape. What does it mean here to be a little out of shape? Are we making little shapes and then the shape's not cool? What does that mean? Little out of shape. You may already know this, but to be out of shape means to not be physically fit or healthy because maybe you haven't been exercising or taking care of your body. And Ivan says this because he is tired from running around and isn't as strong or fast as he used to be. Because remember, he just had a huge tantrum and was going wild in his cage. The phrase here comes from the idea of your body being like a machine or a tool that needs to stay in shape by exercising. If you don't take care of it, you might become out of shape. If you haven't played sports or exercised in a while, you might say, well, I'm out of shape when you get tired really quickly. So say that you're playing tag with your brother or sister and you're running around, but then after like 30 seconds, you're and you can't breathe very well. That will kind of mean that you're out of shape. And for our last one, let's go to page 219. 219. I'm going to start from the second stanza where it says George runs. Are you there? It says, George runs a finger along the blade. She's just a baby, Dad. Don't you want to help her? But how would it help, Jules? Even if lots of people see Ivan's sign, it doesn't mean anything's going to change. I'm not exactly sure yet, Julia shakes her head. Maybe people will see the sign and they'll know this isn't where Ruby belongs. Maybe they'll want to help too. George sighs. He looks at Ruby, who waves her trunk. It's a matter of principle, Dad. Principal. L-E. George corrects. Dad, Julia says softly, what if Ruby ends up like Stella? So the reason why I read the whole page is because we need to know what's happening before in order to know what Julia and George are talking about. But they're basically talking about how they want to help Ruby. Okay? So what does it mean here to end up? To end up means to reach a final result or to be in a particular situation after something happens. So in this case, Julia is worried that Ruby might end up in the same sad situation as Stella, who suffered a lot being at the Big Top Mall. The phrase end up is used to talk about how a situation might develop or might happen as a result of certain actions or events. For example, let me use 2 here. If I say, if you keep eating junk food, you might end up being out of shape. So what does that mean? So if you keep eating junk food, what's the end result? What's going to happen? You'll end up being out of shape, like our idiom from before. So again, this video is quite short compared to the ones from before, but I hope you're able to learn a lot from these different idioms. For our mission this week, what are 2 new nicknames for Ivan after his billboard painting became famous? They said that he had been called 2 different things from the new visitors. Remember to write your name, class, and week, and put it into the mission box. Now it is time to review and self-study, and this is for contextual mastery. Review all of the phrases again, maybe watch the video again because it's short. Read out loud the different excerpts from our book, and reread the novel where these phrases came from to fully understand before, middle, and end, and then go ahead and complete your novel homework. Thank you so much for joining me again this week, and I'll see you guys in week 23. Bye!